We're back. I was muted at first. Welcome back to the second ASG stream. I hope everybody's doing well. Realize that the whole StreamYard overlay is there. Didn't notice that last time. I shaved from last time because it was just getting a little bit too much. It is Friday, so I have a glass of scotch. It is Glenkinchie Distiller's Reserve. Very nice bottle a friend gave me. So I'm going to drink while we look over some stuff and see what is going on. Let me just get everything situated. There we go. That should be good. Now let me present. Share screen. I will get faster at this. I'm sure I can set up presets, but I'm just stupid. There we go. All righty. So we have today. We're gonna start with a look at the news. See what's going on there, and then I want to pivot to the main. Actually no. I need to be better at saying, what my. So what I want to look at is somebody on YouTube who is just terrible. Called Ranting for Vengeance. And he is one of these conservatives who is one of the loudest, not loudest. He's becoming more popular in nerd culture. Let's take a gander at what we've got going on here. Okay, there we go. So I've been watching this guy. I saw him on other sort of reactors channels. But this guy is just awful. You can look at the thing. First of all, the font. The font gets me every single time I see it. This old medieval font idea. And you see this more with sort of gooners and stuff like that. So the death to all posers gets me. This kid is all right. He is significantly younger. He's 26. I'm 26. This kid's 18, 19-ish. But he's completely ruined any prospects of him ever getting a job. And he's just a racist. And at the age in which he is, he knows what he's saying. And I fully admit that his whole content is rage bait. That's his whole idea. That's what he does. That's his thing. That's his MO. He does it all day. And he fucking knows what he's doing as well. So we're going to look at one of his videos and just talk about how destructive people like this are and conservatives are to overall nerd culture. Now, I'm a huge comic book fan. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. And I'm a huge Star Trek fan. You see, I have a Star Trek tattoo. So I'm a huge fan. I've read comics. I've read comics a lot. I read a lot of fantasy. And I've been really watching, really liking the show Daredevil Born Again, the new Disney Plus show. And this guy, let's look at the things. Woke trash, the truth, this is bad, woke shit, the end. And so if you haven't seen the show and are planning to watch it, I would recommend not watching this video. because there'll probably be spoilers in there. But if you don't have a plan to watch it, or have already seen it, or don't really care about spoilers, you should watch it and be advised about people like this guy. Logo. I don't want an overlay. There we go. So, okay, I don't have to have an overlay. I need an overlay, probably. But we're not there yet in my very small streaming career. So yeah, I watched the first part of this video that we're going to watch, Daredevil Born Again. Advertisements. See, a lot of professional YouTubers have YouTube Premium. They don't have ads. But alas, I am not a professional YouTuber. So, see, I look over here, and I should look here. As you can tell, the unprofessionalism is rife. Anyway, cheers to everybody who watches now or in the VOD. And let's do this. First of all, I want to look at this guy. He's a younger guy. I don't think wireframe glasses are the best thing for younger people. I don't think it's a good idea. I think sort of the frames that I have on, you can go round, largely, rectangular, like round horn rims, I think look really good, and they're really in style now. Or sort of what I have, the sort of rectangular frame, but thick frame. Wireframe is just so outdated. Like, that's what my dad wore. My dad wore wireframe glasses, and he was born in the 50s. So I really don't think it's the best idea to have wireframe glasses when you're like in your teens. So let's start. Let's get through this. I fucking hate this guy, but I want everybody to know how much I hate this guy. Hey, Karisu, thanks for showing up, man. My one and only viewer. Cheers to you. I'm drinking scotch. Glen Kinchy Distillers Reserve. It is delicious. We're just talking about how wireframe glasses on a young guy, not a move. And it's objectively, right? The new glasses style is sort of more like thick-rimmed, circular, horn-rimmed, rectangular, like those older styles of thick rims have now become in style, and that's what more young people are wearing. That's what I wear, and that's what a lot of my friends wear. I have a sort of oval-shaped face, so I wear rectangular glasses. If I had a round, if I had a square-shaped face, I would wear circular glasses. This guy has an oval face and is wearing oval glasses that are wireframes. They're not helping him. Also, I do kind of love the vibe, like the 90s, like 99, like new metal. Like, that's this whole vibe, right? So Daredevil Born Again, this is what he's talking about, and he's going to talk about how it's woke. So let's watch some of this, or all of it. I don't know. Everybody loves it, but it sucks. It's everybody loves this show, and the ratings are high, and critics love it, but it's terrible. He would get his butt kicked. I just love that. It's a great show. I can't do accents. It's a great show, but it's utter garbage. It's so good. That's the funny thing. I've watched it every Tuesday night when it comes out. I watch every episode. I love every episode. Vincent D'Onofrio playing Kingpin is just phenomenal casting. And Charlie Cox's Daredevil is phenomenal as well. But let's I use Chrome. Oh, no audio? Okay. Troubleshooting once again, guys. Not a professional YouTuber. um, hmm. Isn't passenger RN? Thought IV because Firefox, but nope, something else mucking up. Okay. So, I mean, okay. Hang on a second. So if I do a Chrome tab, all right. Aha. Yes, I have to share a screen or a tab. So I'm going to share the screen. Let me know if you hear. Oh, God. Oh, add to stage. There we go. Let me know if. Hide. Let me know if you hear this. Are we hearing that? Do we have it? Did I get it to work? Did it work? I mean, I could. Negative. Best to use. Fuck. Okay. I want to blame somebody. Blame myself. Oh. Oh, it's not even. Hang on. Mute screen audio.
Random Indian guy that's absolutely insufferable. So instead of cooking curry that has fatal food poisoning to anybody who ingests it.
Are we hearing the racism? Is that coming through? Is the racism coming through? There you go. Yeah. All right. Let's get it from the beginning just so we can just really get to this guy. All right.
So, Daredevil Born Again, episode 5 and 6 are out. The ratings are high. Everybody's loving it. And yeah, it's still total garbage. I don't know how, but every week this show somehow gets worse. Where am I? But before we get into this utter trash, if you want to support the channel, you don't have to. You could jump over to my Patreon and it would be greatly appreciated. So we were graced with...
Which reminds me, I don't have a Patreon, but if you're new, which I don't think anybody is, but if you're watching this VOD, drop me a like and hit the subscribe button. Or don't. I'm not your boss. It's a free country. Do what you want.
2 episodes of Born Again this week. And I thought we were actually going to be in for something good. Maybe we were going to see some Punisher or some Daredevil in the suit action. Or he'd be hunting down a serial killer. And he did none of that. We basically got a full filler episode and then another episode that had tons of stuff that didn't need to be anywhere near the show. I'll tackle the first episode, which I believe is the monstrosity out of the 2 we got. So after episode 4, Daredevil was looking at the suits again. He picked back up the stick and he was ready to become the vigilante once again. And then we got a full filler episode that just told us that again. No, I'm not joking with you. This episode meant literally nothing. I wouldn't be surprised if it was added in after the show was entirely shot, just to add on another episode. And straight away, I knew it was going to be the bank robbery that we saw from the trailers, but I didn't think...
Yeah, it was a bit of a filler episode. It was cool. Did it really continue this? Maybe that's why Disney decided to release 2 episodes on the same night instead of just one. One sort of a filler, just to sort of, And in my modern, it's more likely than, but it wasn't a bad episode. It wasn't a bad episode. It was, the purpose of it seemed to be to show how this Daredevil is related to the larger Marvel universe.
They drag it out for an entire episode. And if it was Matt Murdock in the middle of a bank robbery and he had to stop it and take down the criminals, I wouldn't actually be too annoyed. But it wasn't just him. We were also accompanied by one of the biggest, most unreal, legendary Marvel Universe cameos of all time. Some random Indian guy that's absolutely insufferable. So instead of cooking curry that has fatal food poisoning to anybody who ingests it, this Indian actually works.
All right, I know that this guy's just a fucking racist. But you know what one of the biggest, he's obviously Irish, right? You know what one of the biggest and most popular cuisines is in the British Isles? It's Indian food. And Indian food is fucking amazing. It's so good. It's probably my favorite cuisine. It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, this guy's just racist. Also, the guy he's talking about is not Indian, he's Pakistani. I did not expect someone like this to be aware of the difference, even though one is Hindu and one is largely Islamic, which historically has caused problems confusing those two, but whatever.
Works in a bank. And from the first scene of this filler episode, Matt Murdock walks in and we're supposed to give a crap about this scene or something when this Indian guy who can't act is just being really annoying for no reason, showing him his custom Funko Pop of Kamala Khan, the fake Miss Marvel. So basically what the people at Marvel did was they looked at a really interesting classic Marvel character, Miss Marvel, and they said, hey.
Really classic and interesting. All that boils down to, and this is the biggest thing about my problem with conservatives commenting on nerd culture, all they really want to say is, I want to be able to fuck my comic book characters. That's all it comes down to. That's literally it. They're like, I want to watch this and jerk off to it, but now I can't. Anytime they say it's so true. In video games, like what the Witcher 4 trailer came out, and they're like, Ciri's older and not attractive anymore because they don't like it that, people, they're the first people to complain about something when it's not realistic. But then when it's like, when a woman ages progressively in a series, they're like, oh, it's it's woke garbage because I can't jerk off to it anymore. This guy needs to go outside. They're doing some really cool things out there now. They're doing some real cool things outside now.
Hey, what if we made her unattractive Indian, took away every single piece of skin she was showing, and also made the fact that she was Indian her entire character? Nobody watched Miss Marvel. That's a fact. And they're...
He just said it. She's not attractive. I can't jerk off to it. Exactly. That's what he's saying. Which is just so untrue. It's just it's, have you, like, if you've never watched a the Bollywood or like a Bollywood film, strong recommend. There are some really good ones. They're really, because every like Dollywood, Tollywood, Mollywood film is also a musical, and the music is really, really good. It's so good. Like oh, I would have to do. I'll like Dil de Dakna Do. I just butchered the pronunciation of that, but Dil de Dakna is a really, really good movie. It's so good.
They're trying to fit in a cameo, thinking that people will care. Nobody wants to hear about Miss Marvel if she's not white. Nobody wants to see a young little Kamala.
He's just racist. He's actually just racist. He's just super racist.
Khan and Matt Murdock have a little team up. If you want people to care about your universe and your show, bring back the real characters, bring back the real Miss Marvel, or go screw yourself. So as usual with Daredevil,
not go fuck yourself. Go screw yourself. Awesome.
Born Again. This episode is filled with some of the worst lighting you've ever even seen, and some of the worst acting. Like, I just realized that nobody can act in the show.
Rodriguez.
Were you?
Detective Angie Kim.
Fuck off.
Not one character is believable, and nobody even matches the.
I love the dishonest editing there of that show, because I know the scene he's referring to. That conversation was specifically supposed to be a stiff conversation.
The tone of the show. When this show was announced years ago, the guy who ran the original Daredevil Netflix show, which is 1,000,000 times more superior, said that he was going to pull back on the film noir influences and focus more on just a basic crime story.
Film noir. Not film noir. Film noir.
Really worked out well for you. If you just stuck with the noir influences and you made a show that people actually liked and that was dark and was consistent with its tone, then maybe you could have had a good show on your hands. But instead, the entire show of Daredevil Born Again is basically a comedy. You go from deadly serious bank robbery hostage situation into joking and laughing and weird sound effects.
Well, what do we have here?
It's your last chance to get Disney Plus and Hulu for just $2.99 a month.
No way. Yes.
That's one impressive diamond. Could I please request if you could get me a snack? Just a granola bar.
And Matt Murdock acting.
What? Like, why can't things be two things at once? Why can't things have humor in them as well? I don't get that. I really don't get that. Why can't it be a drama and then peppered in with humor? I don't understand. I don't understand the criticism. Besides, all this is boiling down to for me is there's a brown person in it.
Like a complete idiot.
Mm-hmm.
When stopping this bank robbery, Matt Murdock fights one guy and he struggles and falls down an entire staircase. Now, this is Matt Murdock, the same guy from the comics and the Netflix show who could do stuff like this.
Because the whole part of that scene was that he was trying to make sure he killed the guy in silence. So he had to hold his punches a little bit. So the gun that was also in that scene didn't go off or fall down the fucking stairs, you absolute dipshit. It sounds like he didn't even watch it. It sounds like he didn't even watch that scene for that show. But also, quick aside, and I'll stop pausing for a minute. The original 3 series, the original 3 seasons of Daredevil, when it was on Netflix and it's now on Disney Plus. But what started this with Charlie Cox playing Daredevil is a phenomenal show. It is so well done, and so is this one. So is Born Again. I like Born Again a little bit more. It's actually darker, I think, but.
And that was just a Netflix show holding back. In the comics, Daredevil can beat almost anyone in a fight. Yet he just forgot how to do it in this one and is getting his ass kicked.
That's not true at all. That's not true at all. Daredevil consistently gets his ass handed to him. What a moron this guy is.
By some random Irish thug. And this episode also continues with the incessant swearing.
Your job is to prevent every hostage inside the bank from getting a fucking bullet to the fucking head.
And
how is that not cool? How is that not cool? That guy's awesome. That villain in this was so cool. It was like very like Peaky Blinders-esque. Like with like this whole episode was very reminiscent of Peaky Blinders to me. Just because I think like the grit in it and sort of like the gray overlay like in the show Like in like the way they filmed it, it was like very Peaky Blinders-esque.
This fake cop, this fat Chinese woman who's trying to calm down the hostage situation, yet she doesn't actually care about anybody's lives, has to tell a joke to one of the bank robbers to get some of the hostages out. And instead of telling a normal joke that you could just write in the script, they create this extremely blasphemous joke. And the funny part is, for the entire episode in the bank, there's people praying for their lives. And
Yeah, the joke is really funny. It talks about how pretty much the joke in the show ends with some guy fucking a penguin because he thinks it's a leprechaun nun. Obviously, this guy's like super Catholic. Oh, a blasphemous joke. Oh no. Oh, a blasphemous joke.
they're actually praying more than we've seen Matt Murdock do in the entire show. Before we move on to the episode that got slightly
Because he lost his faith, you fucking
better, but also was an absolute mountain of crap, I just have to point out this hilarious moment that we were supposed to take seriously. So in the first 5 seconds of the episode, Matt goes to the bank, and then as he's leaving, he's halfway down the road, and he hears the bank.
Uh-oh. My camera decided to stop working. My apologies.
Robbers enter the place using his senses. Stan Lee has talked about it multiple times about how good Daredevil's senses really are. Matt is on the phone to the black, ugly bitch, Mac Duffy, who is literally fake Karen, and randomly, out of nowhere, he hangs up and says, "Call 911. How does she know where you are? How does she know what's going on? What do you mean?
To be fair, I asked that same question. I did ask that same question, but then I thought, like, most people like have like with their friends, they like share their location. So yeah, I wish he would have said like call 911, send him to whatever the location is. But also it's like I can hand wave that a little bit. It doesn't bother me too much. It didn't bother me too much.
Call 911. I'll give him some slack. He mentions that he just came out of the bank, but how is she supposed to ring 911? And the even funnier part is when she does, 10,000 squad cars and every cop in the city is showing up outside. How do they know it's a bank robbery? How do they know to bring SWAT teams? They just get a random call from somebody saying, yeah, somebody just told me to ring 911 near a bank. And the police force takes it seriously and sends every cop available. We're supposed to take this show seriously when they're putting in moments like this, but then every other moment is a joke or some obnoxious MCU humor. Then we move on to the second episode that has some really high ratings. So
he he didn't like because there's an Asian person in it. He didn't like it that people were blasphemous, and he still doesn't. He misses the whole idea of Daredevil Born Again, which is the name of the show. Daredevil Born Again. And he doesn't like it that he's not super religious now. The show starts, once again, spoilers if you haven't seen it. It starts again with Daredevil seeing his friend die in front of his eyes. His faith is shaken. He is trying to reconnect with it, but it is shaken. That's the idea of the show, you fucking idiot. I don't even think you've ever read the comics. Or like a lot of conservatives, I feel, don't understand anything about like story writing, right? Like Star Wars theory, the dipshit who comments on Star Wars stuff is also just like a fucking conservative, does the exact same thing. And that it's like, it's almost like they don't allow for any substance in what they're watching. Like they just want it to be like fights and people like beating the shit out of each other and not any character development or any sort of self like actualization from the character. And once again, it gets back to what I talked about last stream, which is conservatives don't understand art. They are just incapable of understanding it because they inherently can't believe, based on their political ideologies, that people can change and that people go through growth. And that's the same thing that we see here. Personal growth is just a part of the woke agenda. Exactly. So like that's what they think, right? So anytime a character remotely changes or is more suited to fit in a modern world, they just lose their fucking minds. It's so immature, and it just shows that these people are, first of all, just uneducated, anti-intellectuals, and people who just don't have the ability to analyze anything for context or substance. And this is, we're starting, I feel like I see this more and more in nerd culture, right? Because as things that maybe we grew up with, like my peers, who were born in the late 90s, early noughts, we're starting to see some of the things that we grew up with being slightly changed. And for some reason, folks just can't understand this. It's the same thing, like, right? Like the original Star Wars generation, right? New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. When Phantom Menace came out, when the prequels came out, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith, they really did not like it at all. Just at all, they did not like it. And I think that is largely because I can't put my finger on it, actually. I don't know what it's because. I don't know what the cause is. It could be something as simple as old people don't like to see things that they love being modified by newer people, or they don't like what they originally knew or thought something to be changed, and that has got to stop. And for our generation, having seen that from our parents' generation, we have to not be like that. We have to grow up out of it. I look at anything like that Star Wars related, for example, just talking about Star Wars, like any new thing, just a part, something else that's furthering the lore or the canon of the universe. Same thing with MCU, right? And you can go and read, like, this guy's acting like the original comics aren't there. You can still go back out, you can still go and read them. They're not gone. I have Daredevil and Spider-Man 1 through 8, late 60s, I think. And I still go back and read it, and it's great. And I go and watch Daredevil, and it's also great. Two things can be true at the same time. Two things can be great and different at the same time. It doesn't all have to be the same shit all the time.
I thought I was going to see something actually good. And I don't know how this episode got any of these ratings, because once again, it's filled with terrible lighting, stock footage, random inserts of the BB report, which consists of non-white people who are fat and disgusting, talking about how bad white people are.
Oh, the whole thing is going. And then I want to address that. Non-white people. It's not funny. Those beliefs are not, they're terrible. The reason why it's somewhat humorous is because this guy earnestly believes it. And I know the camera. Hang on. Sorry, I'm having technical issues, apparently. Let's see for. Oh, I'm muted. Let's see. Is this going to work now? There we go. Non-white people. Yeah, man. They all have to be white, dude. Marvel Comics is all white except for all of the original characters who weren't.
And then when we're not doing that, it's Wilson Fisk being told what to do by a room full of people. And once again, I hate to bring it up, not actually though, because I love to bring it up, the fact that the apartment and all of the interiors in this show suck. Why is Matt's apartment so blown out and lit really bright? Remember in the classic Netflix show where Matt would just sit around in his apartment with film noir lighting, sipping on a whiskey? Or in the comics where Matt's apartment would be lit by Venetian blinds or red and blue lighting depending on where the story was going. This show tries that once in a blue moon and fails horribly. And for the rest of it, we're left with blindingly bright scenes like this. So the White Tiger's daughter is back at it.
Maybe because when you're filming something, you want decent lighting. I don't know. Maybe let that one go because that's an argument you're not going to win, Chief.
Again with the unbelievable cringe when she comes to the Murdoch and McDuffie offices and comes in to talk to Matt. And you think she's going to be humble and come in and say, yeah, I think my father was onto something. Can you help me out? Instead, she's talking to a blind man now, remember? Some random blind dude who's really weak in front of everybody. And she says, it was in your hands and you did nothing about it. The little guy came to your front door and you didn't even help him.
Not how the conversation went.
You did nothing. He is blind, you retard. What do you want?
The reason that's funny is because he put the bleep in there, but in no way does it cover up what that word is. In no way does it change, like, were any of us not able to figure out what that word is.
Want him to do. In this show, people can just antagonize Matt Murdoch whenever they want and just get away with it. Matt obviously can't help because he's blind. What can he say to her? Oh yeah, okay, I'll go full-blown Paul Kersey from Death Wish and I'll go out and find who did this. He is blind. What is there to not understand? But anyways, this little girl goes off and tries to find out what her father was getting into or something. I don't know where she is exactly. She's down in some random railway track for no reason. It's not explained how she found this or how she got there. She's just walking around with a flashlight and eventually gets captured by the killer Muse, who has a ridiculous body count that's just cartoonish. Like in this scene with Fisk, somebody just goes, yeah, I think...
God, I hate it when comics are cartoonish. God, doesn't that suck? God, that is so annoying when comics are cartoonish, guys. Makes me so mad. I want my superheroes to be realistic. Like, I want Superman. I want him to have the strength of a regular person. Oh no, this insane supervillain killed like 200 people. How many people did Thanos just delete? Oh, fuck. God, this guy makes me annoyed.
it's upwards of 60 people that he's taken out. What the hell is going on? If you said like, yeah, 10 people, then yeah.
Don't we have like real serial killers in like real life? Can leap 1 foot in a single bound, can see through air somewhere. This is the powers of beta male, apparently. But like this guy killed upwards of 60 people. Don't we have like serial killers in the real world that killed like way fucking more than 60 people? Like, didn't the guy like H.H. Holmes, like in the Chicago World Fair, didn't he like have upwards of like 100 or something? Like, it's not unreal. Like, there are real life serial killers who killed, yeah, he offed over 100 people. Yeah. There are real life serial killers who killed more than this super villain killed, and you're freaking out about it. You're so stupid. I really want to debate this. I really want to debate this guy on comic books. Because I know I would win. And I would just bully him for the duration of the debate, but he deserves it. Look, I do not condone bullying, but we're allowed to bully bullies.
this guy would be a real danger. But you're seeing upwards of 60. How has nobody noticed this for the last 6 months? Daredevil, Punisher, White Tiger, nobody caught on to the fact that some dude was racking up a body count of upwards of 60 people. So this guy captures
Because it's New York City, and that's not too surprising that people disappear.
the White Tiger's daughter. And Matt, just like that, gets a phone call in his apartment, and there's no build-up, there's no nothing. He just grabs the suit, and then we cut to this absolutely cringe shot that looks like it's from some CGI PS2 game, where he's jumping across rooftops and swinging. I'm not even joking, this looks as good as the Ben Affleck movie. Let's compare the cringe from Daredevil Born Again.
It's fucking awesome. The score.
The in-camera practical stunt work that we saw in the classic Netflix show.
Both these scenes are cool. What's the problem? I don't see the problem. Him
Then what about the
swinging
moment
from
when
roof
you
to roof?
actually realize that you're not here by accident? That there is a God
I'm glad
that
I
really
glad I
loves you.
accidentally doxed my location.
So it's a choice. You're choosing not to have some dude jump around like Daredevil in the actual
Yeah,
camera
fuck
and
me.
in the suit. And you're putting in some CGI avatar who's swinging around like a PS2 game. I've seen people online saying, yeah, well, at least it's not the Ben Affleck movie. They're the exact same. And if you thought that this CGI was bad, let's have a look at the scene where Daredevil randomly just tracks down Muse. Randomly. It's not explained.
You were just complaining about how you didn't think his senses were great enough. And now that he was able to track this guy, you're like, oh, how the fuck did he do it? Please be consistent with your outrage, motherfucker.
So out of the mist, he comes running like Sonic the Hedgehog at top speed, screaming. Yeah, I couldn't help but fall off my chair laughing watching this. You didn't even show us him doing some detective work like we'd see in the comics or the original show. No, instead we got a bunch of filler with Fisk beating up his wife's boyfriend. And then randomly Muse just looks down a tunnel and Daredevil comes speeding towards him and flying through the air like Superman. This fight scene isn't exactly terrible. There's some brutal hits here and there. But the fact that Daredevil can take on one skinny guy, Muse, is just unbelievable. This is Daredevil.
Once again, he has been out of it for since the first episode, and then between second and third, he has been out of it. He has not been fighting. He's out of practice. Moron.
We're talking about. Daredevil's getting his ass kicked and falling all around the place, when before he was actually accurate to the character and could take on a room full of guys. So let me just get this straight. Daredevil can't fight. He can't track anybody down. He can fly through the air like a CGI CW character. And then when he's Matt Murdock, anybody can just get smart with him to his face and he'll just laugh and, I don't know, chew some sweets like a retard.
Why did he beep out that word in the beginning but leave it in there?
I'm not going to lie to you. I was a little bit excited thinking that we were going to get an episode of Daredevil investigating a serial killer. But I'm not even being rage bait. I'm just going to tell you the truth, that this isn't even worth watching. And anybody who's still defending it with its Miss Marvel cameos.
Oh, it's not even rage bait. It's just the truth. Oh, boy. Oh, no, it's not even rage bait. Great screenshot. Also, homie needs to work on the whole. I think braces would not go amiss here.
And its terrible CGI fight scenes just needs to stop coping. And from the brand new trailers that have been released, we've just seen some terrible editing trying to make this show look good.
That's an awesome scene. How is that not? Also, that's dishonest editing. He did that fight scene and then pushed him off the. Okay.
And to be honest, if you don't laugh your ass off at what I'm about to show you, then I don't know what's wrong with you. Genuinely, what are you doing? Matt Murdock is
Genuinely, I don't know, but I'm done with you. Anyway, I just want to see if I can pull up that scene. Daredevil Born Again. Ep 1 fight scene. Just Here's the scene that he's trying to say was so awful. So there he is. Murks this dude. Does not just punch him off the edge, right? As that guy would tell you he did. How is this not like? How is this woke at all? This is a brutal fight. Sort of juxtapose it in. It's so brutal. How is the show remotely woke at all?
NYPD, do not. Why?
So that's how he falls off the edge. How is that scene woke at all? You know, he beats the fuck out of a dude. And then, with not even kind of a problem, pushes him off the side of a building. I don't know, man. I just don't think this guy likes comic books. Hang on, somebody is texting me for the link of the live stream. Uno momento. Got to how do I can't wait until they can integrate like every phone with like computer stuff. That would be great. Hang on. Brief intermission. They can, they just don't want to. You said, what's that scene? Is that a quote from Dark Knight Rises? When she's like, one step further and I'll kill him. And then Batman comes in, he's like, I know. They know. They just don't care. Am I quoting that correctly? You know the scene I'm talking about, right? You all know the scene. You better know the scene I'm talking about. And if you haven't seen if you have not seen fuck, where can I'm trying to, there we go. Copy link. Creasy man. You gotta watch it. Yeah, anyway. All right. So that's enough of so anyway. Nerd culture is being ruined by the far right. Very much so. Ben Shapiro has a claim in it now. That fucking guy does, and I'm not going to link his channel because no one go give him any more attention than I'm giving him. He is my Hovind. This guy is my Hovind. Hovind's also my Hovind, but so is this guy. I hate him. I hate this guy with a passion. because he's making all nerds look bad. And the reason why nerds have such a problem getting laid is because of this guy. In general, I would say. Sorry, this is strong, so I'm a little, Once you get an adult, you don't have a problem with that so much. But like when you're in high school, he's the reason why people are having trouble. This guy, I think, needs a little bit of that. Go back to school. Don't scream at women. And maybe they'll start to like you a little bit more, and then you'll be less hateful. Genuinely. That's what I believe. All right. Let's check out let's see what's going on in news. Then we're going to wrap it up because I've got Cookout coming to me. If you're not an American or not on the East Coast, you might not know what Cookout is. But if you do, you know how excited I am right now. Okay. There's the dreadful hurricane in Myanmar, which is really sad. Yeah. Anybody from Myanmar, heart goes out to you. I hope that you and your family are okay. So any right-leaning people who think that not supporting Israel is anti-Semitic, behold, this is what I want to talk about. What's going on in the Middle East? Well, not in the Middle East, in Israel and Gaza, is not anti-Semitic. It is fascist versus not fascist. This is not a religious conflict at all. The Israelis are trying to make it into a religious conflict, but there is no way a religious conflict at all whatsoever. Conservatives are trying to, what they always try to do is talk about how, no, it's actually the left are racist, right? So it's literally every time the question of conservative racism comes up, their only response is no, you. It's the most childish thing. But it's not even a racial conflict. Netanyahu is not anti-Semite, is a fascist. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He is a fascist. He is right now trying to genocide a group of people, and he is staying in power longer because, as the Israeli constitution dictates, he cannot be ousted while Israel's in a state of war. It's the same shit that Emperor Palpatine and Hitler tried to do. It's the exact same shit. When you create an us versus them narrative, you then create a dichotomy in your country or in your people who you believe you represent. I found an Allen wrench on my desk, and I'm using it as a fidget right now. You create an us versus them dichotomy, which will then increase the amount of people who hate you, but also increase the amount of people who love you. But there's really no in between, right? I haven't met anybody who's lukewarm towards Netanyahu. It's either hatred or they love him. The whole issue has sparked anti-Semitic thought. Of that, there is no, there is no argument. Anti-Semitism has risen because of this, but it rose because of Israel's reaction to the situation. Right? The best metaphor for the Israeli-Gaza situation is, I hit you with a stick and you shoot me in the head with a gun. Where the Palestinians have the stick and the Israelis have the gun. Their response to what happened in October with the hostage situation, if we look at that event isolated, was not a proportionate response. And then when you look at the reasons why the Gazans figure that they had to do that, was because of years of systematic Israeli oppression in that area. Are there countries in the Middle East that don't believe that Israel should exist? Absolutely there are. 100% absolutely there are. But a majority of Muslims do not believe that. Just like a majority of Israelis do not want to systematically exterminate Palestinians. The war is mischaracterized as Israel, Palestine, or Israel, Gaza, when it's really Netanyahu Palestinians. It's the Netanyahu regime who doesn't want this. It's the Netanyahu regime who wants this. Netanyahu wants to stay in power for as long as he can. And whatever he can do to make that happen is exactly what he's going to fucking do. Because he's a fascist. Greasy, you have anything to add on that front, buddy? Think I'm off base anywhere? Just listening. That's fine. But yeah, the whole situation is anti-Semitism rose in the United States. That is no lie. Jewish students were being attacked by Israelis. Sorry, Jewish students were being attacked by people who support Palestine, which is not good. Should not exact violence on in America. You should not exact violence on other American citizens, unless they're white supremacists, unless they're fascists. Then it's okay. But attacking somebody because of their religious identity is not okay. Political identity, sure. If someone's identifying as a fascist, yes, violence can and should be enacted upon those people. But outside of that, there's no excuse for it. But that level of anti-Semitism in the United States was sparked by Netanyahu and not by Palestinians. So it is on all of us as leftists to be mindful of the fact that people supporting the Israeli government are fascists. Netanyahu is a fascist. But personal violence against a individual who just identifies with the religion of a country you don't like is unacceptable. But that is all I have. Thank you, anybody who watches now or on the VODs later. Please, if you feel like it, leave this stream a like and a subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel. I think I'm going to try to stream every Friday, and I need another day, at least another 2 dates. I might try on Sunday. It might be Friday, Sunday, and then something else. But stay tuned. The channel is developing. I may soon create a Discord, but I have only one person who watches right now. So I don't know. But anyway, if anybody watches, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and have a fantastic weekend. See ya.